Let me tell you something powerful. Work in silence. Don't feel the need to announce your plans to the world before you've put in the work. See, the loudest noise isn't always the loudest truth. Sometimes the real magic happens behind closed doors, away from the spotlight, away from the opinions and doubts of others. When you talk about your dreams before you start grinding, you give away your energy. You open yourself up to criticism, to distractions, to the voices that say you can't. And guess what? Those voices can drown out your own inner drive if you let them. So instead of broadcasting your intentions, channel all that energy into action. Let your progress be your message. People often get caught up in talking about their dreams, their goals, and their plans. It's natural to want to share what excites us with others, to feel that instant recognition or support. But here's the truth. The difference between those who succeed and those who just dream lies not in how much they talk about their plans, but in how much they actually do. Action outweighs words every single time. When you focus on talking rather than doing, you're essentially putting your energy into something that creates noise, but no real change. Words alone don't build skills, don't develop discipline, and don't bring you closer to your goals. The moment you start announcing your intentions, you might feel a temporary boost, like you've already taken a step forward. But this is often an illusion. The real forward movement only happens when you put your head down and work. Think about it this way. When someone says, "I'm going to change my life," or "I'm going to start that business," it's just a promise in the air. But when someone quietly gets up early every day, studies, practices, makes calls, or builds, they are turning that promise into reality. The action is what moves the needle. Without it, words are empty. They become distractions from what you need to do. There's also something deeply powerful about the discipline of action over talk. When you commit to doing the work in silence, you're not only avoiding distractions, you're training your mind to focus on what matters. Talking can give you a false sense of accomplishment, but action grounds you in reality. Every time you show up to do the work, no matter how small, you're reinforcing the habit of progress. You're building momentum that can't be bought or borrowed. It can only be earned. In fact, too much talking can actually weaken your motivation. When you announce your plans, you often get immediate feedback, some of it positive, some negative. But even positive reactions can create a dangerous trap. When people praise your plans before you start working, your brain can mistake that praise for actual progress. It feels good, but it doesn't move you any closer to your goal. It can lead to complacency, making you less hungry to actually take those difficult steps. If you stay quiet, your motivation has to come from within. You rely on your own desire, your own discipline. That kind of motivation is deeper and longer lasting because it's rooted in your personal commitment, not in external validation. When your drive comes from inside, you're more likely to push through obstacles, setbacks, and the tough times that inevitably come with any meaningful goal. When you let your actions speak louder than your words, you create an undeniable credibility. People begin to notice not because you've told them your plans, but because they see the results. That's how respect and trust are built. It's one thing to say you're going to do something, it's another to actually do it. And when you've quietly worked and then reveal your progress, your success becomes powerful and inspiring. If you want to truly change your life, shift your focus from announcing your plans to committing to your actions. Let your work be your voice. Let your progress be your proof. Because at the end of the day, it's not what you say you're going to do that defines you. It's what you actually do. One of the biggest challenges anyone faces when pursuing their goals is the desire for approval from others. We naturally want people to recognize our ambitions and cheer us on. But here's the catch. When you announce your plans too early, you expose yourself to something that can seriously derail your progress: external validation. This craving to be accepted, praised, or even just acknowledged can become a double-edged sword that limits your potential. When you share your goals before you've laid down the work, you put your motivation in the hands of others. Suddenly, your drive depends not on your own commitment, but on the reactions you get. And those reactions can be unpredictable. Some people may be supportive, but others might be skeptical, dismissive, or even jealous. You can't control how people respond, and when you rely on their approval, you give them power over your journey. External validation often creates pressure to perform for others rather than for yourself. When your goal becomes pleasing others or proving them right, your focus shifts away from the real reasons why you started. You may find yourself doing things to gain praise rather than doing what truly aligns with your purpose and values. This can lead to frustration, burnout, or even abandoning your dreams because the outside noise becomes too loud. Another problem with seeking validation from others is that it invites judgment and doubt. People tend to be quick to criticize what they don't understand or what challenges their own beliefs. When you loudly announce your plans, you open yourself up to those negative opinions before you've even had a chance to prove yourself. Those early critiques can plant seeds of doubt in your own mind, making you question if you're on the right path or if your dream is even possible. The truth is, the only validation that truly matters is the one you give yourself. When you work quietly and focus on your growth, you build internal confidence that doesn't depend on others. This kind of self-validation is more resilient and empowering because it's based on your own standards and progress, not on fluctuating external opinions. Working silently allows you to develop a stronger sense of self-trust. You learn to rely on your own discipline, perseverance, and judgment. This builds character and resilience, which are critical for long-term success, because the road to any meaningful achievement is rarely smooth or easy. There will be setbacks, obstacles, and moments when giving up feels tempting. If you depend on others' approval, those hard times become even harder. But if you validate yourself through your commitment to action, you keep going no matter what. By avoiding the need for external validation, you also protect your vision from being diluted or influenced by others' expectations. When you keep your plans private, you're free to explore, adjust, and grow without pressure to meet someone else's idea of success. You create space for genuine innovation and progress on your own terms. In the end, the most powerful motivation comes from within. When you stop seeking permission or praise from the outside world and start trusting your own process, you unlock a level of focus and determination that can carry you through anything. Your work becomes about fulfilling your potential, not about satisfying the crowd. Guard your goals like a treasure, keep your plans close, and feed your motivation from the inside out. When you finally reveal what you've built, it will shine with authenticity and strength, because it wasn't created for applause. It was created because you believed in yourself. There's something incredibly powerful about letting your results do the talking. In a world where everyone is quick to share their plans, their ideas, and their intentions, what truly sets you apart is what you actually accomplish. Promises are easy to make. They're light and fleeting. Results, however, are solid and undeniable. They carry weight because they prove that you followed through, that you committed, and that you delivered. When you constantly announce your plans and goals, people start to expect something from you. Sometimes that expectation becomes a burden. It creates pressure to perform, often before you're ready. And if things don't go exactly as planned, if there are setbacks or delays, those promises can feel like chains holding you back. They create a narrative that you must live up to, even when the work is still in progress or when failure looms. But when you shift your focus from making promises to producing results, everything changes. You stop worrying about pleasing others with empty words and start investing in what really matters: action and outcomes. You begin to see progress as a process rather than a performance. Every step forward, every small victory builds momentum that speaks louder than any speech ever could. Results bring credibility. When you have something tangible to show, a completed project, improved skills, growing success, they demonstrate your ability and your commitment. People respect those who don't just talk about what they want to do, but who actually do it. Results are a form of communication that doesn't rely on words. They transcend language and opinions because they are evidence of your effort and persistence. Focusing on results keeps you grounded in reality. Plans and promises can sometimes live in an idealized world of hopes and possibilities. Results, on the other hand, reflect what really happened. This truth check forces you to evaluate your progress honestly, learn from your mistakes, and adapt your approach. It encourages growth because it's based on facts, not fantasies. Another benefit of letting results speak is that it cultivates humility. When you stop broadcasting your intentions, you let your work, and sometimes your failures, remain private until you're ready. This humility helps you develop resilience. You learn to value the process over the applause, the effort over the recognition. You come to understand that true success isn't about being seen or heard the loudest. It's about quietly building something meaningful. Results also inspire others in a much deeper way. People are inspired not by your promises, but by your achievements because they see what's possible through your example. Success that emerges from silent, consistent work carries a powerful message that with dedication and persistence, goals can be reached even if no one believed it at first. Instead of announcing your grand plans to the world, invest your time and energy in creating results. Make your work your voice. Let your achievements be your story. And when the time comes to share, people will listen, not because you told them what you intended to do, but because you've shown them what you actually did. Remember, promises are easy. Results are rare. Be the person who delivers. Energy is one of the most valuable resources you have, yet it's also one of the easiest to waste. When you're working toward a big goal, the way you manage your energy can make all the difference between success and burnout. One of the biggest mistakes people make is spending too much energy talking about their plans instead of putting that energy into the work itself. Talking prematurely about your goals can drain your motivation, scatter your focus, and ultimately slow you down. To succeed, you need to preserve your energy for what truly matters, taking consistent action. Think about how much energy it takes just to dream and plan. Now, add the energy needed to share those dreams with others, to explain your vision repeatedly, and to respond to feedback, both positive and negative. Every time you do this, you're diverting precious mental and emotional power away from your actual work. Instead of building, you're spending energy convincing or entertaining others. While social support can be valuable, too much talking can exhaust you before you've even begun. When you work quietly and focus your energy inward, you build a deeper level of concentration and momentum. Your mind isn't distracted by the reactions of others or by the pressure of living up to the expectations you've set. This creates a powerful feedback loop. Focused energy leads to progress, and progress fuels even more energy and motivation. It's a cycle that can carry you through the hardest days. Preserving your energy also means protecting yourself from burnout. When you announce your plans publicly, there's often an invisible clock ticking, a pressure to deliver quickly so you don't disappoint others. This pressure can push you to rush, to take shortcuts, or to work longer hours than you should. But When you hold your plans close and prioritize your energy on actual progress, you can pace yourself more wisely. You learn to listen to your body and mind, balancing effort with rest and sustaining your drive over the long haul. Another important aspect of preserving energy is guarding it against negativity. When you broadcast your goals too soon, you expose yourself to critics, doubters, and sometimes even sabotage. Engaging with negative opinions wastes your emotional energy, pulling you away from your focus and potentially shaking your confidence. But when you keep your work private, you control your environment. You can choose when and how to share, revealing your progress only when you're ready to handle whatever reaction comes your way. Quiet, focused work builds not just energy, but also resilience. You develop a mental toughness that comes from knowing your efforts aren't contingent on external approval or immediate recognition. This resilience is what helps you stay consistent during the inevitable setbacks and challenges. It's the fuel that keeps you moving forward when the excitement of new plans fades and the grind becomes real. In the end, preserving your energy is about respect. Respect for your own potential and for the process it takes to reach your goals. It's about understanding that your success depends on the strength of your commitment and the quality of your focus, not on how loudly you proclaim your intentions. Be wise with your energy. Guard it, focus it, and pour it into your work. Let your silent hustle be the source of your power. When your energy is protected and directed toward meaningful action, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Your vision is the blueprint for your future. It's the mental picture of what you want to create, achieve, or become. Because your vision is so personal and so important, protecting it is one of the most critical things you can do on your journey towards success. When you share your plans with everyone too early, you risk diluting or even damaging that vision before it has a chance to fully develop. Protecting your vision means guarding it from negativity, distractions, and premature judgments so it can grow strong and clear in your mind. When you announce your plans too soon, you expose your vision to outside influence, opinions, criticisms, doubts, and expectations that may not align with what you truly want. People often see the world through their own experiences and limitations, which can cloud their understanding of your goals. Some may unintentionally discourage you, while others might impose their own fears and beliefs onto your vision. This external noise can confuse you or cause you to second-guess yourself, which slows down your progress and weakens your commitment. Your vision needs space and time to breathe and evolve. When you keep it private, you allow yourself the freedom to experiment, to make mistakes, and to refine your ideas without the pressure of having to explain or defend them. This privacy creates a safe environment where your vision can mature naturally. You get to shape it on your own terms, based on what feels right and what you learn along the way. Protecting your vision also means avoiding the trap of seeking approval before you've done the work. Too often, people want validation from others before committing fully to their dreams. They want someone to say, yes, this is a good idea, before taking the risk. But true progress happens when you believe in your vision, even when others don't. You have to be willing to stand alone, sometimes holding your vision close, trusting your instincts, and moving forward regardless of outside opinions. When you protect your vision, you strengthen your focus. Distractions lose their power, and negativity becomes less distracting because you aren't inviting it into your process. Your mind stays clear, and your energy remains dedicated to what really matters, turning your vision into reality. This focus is what allows you to overcome obstacles, stay motivated, and keep pushing forward even when the journey gets tough. Another important reason to protect your vision is to maintain your passion and enthusiasm. Sharing your vision too early, especially if met with skepticism, can drain the excitement that fuels your drive. Keeping your plans private preserves that passion, allowing it to build internally rather than being chipped away by external doubts. When your passion is intact, you're more resilient, creative, and determined. When the time is right to reveal your vision or your success, it carries much more weight because it's fully formed and supported by real progress. People will be inspired not just by the idea, but by what you've actually accomplished. That's when your vision truly shines and has the power to influence others. Protecting your vision is about honoring your dreams and your journey. It's about giving yourself the space to grow, the freedom to believe, and the strength to persevere. Guard your vision like a precious seed. Nurture it quietly. When it's ready, it will bloom in a way that commands attention, not because you shouted it from the rooftops, but because it's undeniable. Discipline and integrity are the foundation stones of any meaningful success. They're qualities that quietly shape who you are and determine how far you'll go on your journey. When you work silently and don't announce your plans prematurely, you're actually building these traits in ways that words alone could never achieve. Discipline and integrity don't come from talking about what you're going to do. They come from doing it consistently, even when no one is watching. Discipline is about showing up day after day and putting in the work regardless of how you feel or what distractions come your way. It's a commitment to your goals that isn't dependent on motivation or external praise. When you announce your plans, sometimes the excitement of sharing can trick you into thinking you've already made progress. But true discipline means pushing past that initial excitement and continuing the grind when things get tough, when motivation wanes, or when no one else seems to care. Working in silence helps you cultivate this discipline because it removes the temptation to seek quick rewards through praise or recognition. Instead, you learn to rely on your own inner drive. This kind of self-reliance is what builds endurance. It trains your mind to focus on the process rather than just the outcome. You develop habits that support your vision even on days when you don't feel like working, and those habits eventually become the backbone of your success. Integrity goes hand in hand with discipline. It's about being honest with yourself and staying true to your commitments, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. When you don't announce your plans to the world, you free yourself from the pressure of living up to others' expectations. This means your actions come from a place of genuine commitment rather than from a desire to impress or please others. You learn to hold yourself accountable because you respect your own word more than the approval of the crowd. Integrity also means doing the right thing even when no one is watching. It's about showing up authentically and consistently, not just when it's easy or when it benefits your image. By working quietly and consistently, you develop a strong sense of personal responsibility. You understand that the only person you need to answer to is yourself. This mindset empowers you to stay on course, avoid shortcuts, and maintain the quality of your work. Building discipline and integrity through silent work also fosters resilience. When challenges arise, and they always will, you won't crumble under pressure or crumble because someone doubted you publicly. Your strength will come from knowing you've been faithful to your work all along, regardless of outside noise. This inner strength is what allows you to bounce back, adapt, and keep moving forward. Moreover, when you finally reveal the fruits of your labor, your discipline and integrity will shine through. People will notice not just your success, but the quiet, steady commitment behind it. Your results will carry more meaning because they come from a foundation of consistent effort and authenticity. This inspires respect and trust in ways that flashy announcements never can. Remember, discipline and integrity aren't built on words. They're built in the silent moments of dedication and honesty with yourself. When you work quietly, you develop a character that can weather any storm and achieve lasting success. That's the real power behind working in silence. Success is something many people chase with urgency, imagining it as a finish line they must cross quickly. The culture around us often glorifies rapid achievement and instant results, making it feel like if you're not seeing immediate success, you're somehow falling behind. But the truth that so many overlook is that success is not a sprint, it's a journey. It's a long, sometimes winding path that requires patience, persistence, and a steady pace. Understanding this mindset is crucial, especially when you're working quietly on your goals without announcing your plans to the world. When you keep your work in progress private, you free yourself from the pressure to rush. You stop feeling like you need to prove something right away, and instead, you focus on steady improvement. This shift in perspective allows you to appreciate the small wins and learn from the challenges without feeling overwhelmed. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Success isn't about sudden leaps, it's about consistent forward movement over time. This journey mindset helps you avoid comparison traps. When you announce your plans publicly, you might start comparing yourself to others who seem to be moving faster or getting more attention. That comparison can lead to frustration, impatience, and even giving up. But when you work quietly, your only competition is your past self. You measure progress by how far you've come, not by how far others have gone. This keeps your motivation focused and your energy positive. The journey of success also teaches valuable lessons that can't be learned any other way. When you're in a hurry, you might miss the important experiences that build your skills, character, and wisdom. Challenges and setbacks are not obstacles, but stepping stones. They're opportunities to grow, adapt, and become stronger. When you're patient and committed to the long haul, these experiences enrich your journey and prepare you for lasting success. Another important aspect of seeing success as a journey is that it builds resilience. You develop the ability to bounce back from failures because you understand they are part of the process, not the end of the road. This mindset keeps you moving forward even when progress feels slow or invisible. The quiet work you do behind the scenes, the discipline you cultivate, and the integrity you uphold all contribute to this resilience. When you finally reach milestones or achieve your goals, the satisfaction is deeper because it's earned through sustained effort. Success gained overnight can feel hollow or fleeting, but success built over time has weight and meaning. It's a reflection of your perseverance, dedication, and growth. People who achieve great things often look back and realize that the journey itself was just as important as the destination. So, remember that success isn't a race to be won quickly. It's a personal journey that requires patience and steady effort. By working silently and focusing on your own path, you cultivate the mindset and habits that lead to lasting achievement. Celebrate your progress, learn from your struggles, and keep moving forward. Your journey is unique, and it's yours to own. In the end, those who understand that success is a journey, not a race, are the ones who build legacies, inspire others, and create meaningful impact that lasts far beyond any quick victory.